Hello everyone, I am currently on my lunch break. Today is February the 6th, maybe the 7th. It is currently around 12:07 p.m. and I just wanted to hop on here and talk about some things that have happened in the past few weeks. So obviously I've not made a video in the past few weeks. I've just been very busy with life and stuff. And I just wanted to get on here and talk about some things that have been going on, and I kind of have an idea for what I want to title the video, but I'm not really sure. So I think I want to title this video Nonchalant or Chalant, because I think something that I've come to realize about myself in the past couple weeks is I just can't be a nonchalant person, I can't be this nonchalant person, and that's okay. That's okay, because I think life just doesn't call us to be nonchalant people about stuff. I don't understand the rhetoric in today's society that's like, do things nonchalant, because if you do them, aggressively, or if you do them passionately, it will deter people from being around you. But quite frankly, if you're not aggressive, if you're not passionate, if you're not crazy about what you like, then I just don't want to be around you, And I think why I reference this is, I would say about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was, in a place where I felt very lost. I didn't know if I wanted to stay in grad school. I feel like I didn't have friends there. I feel like I lacked community. I feel like I just wasn't having a great time at all, really. I just wasn't. And I was at this bar with all my friends. We were watching a game, and it's one of those things where you're in a scenario where you're like, this scenario should fill my cup, this scenario should make me happy, and yet this scenario is not making me happy, and I don't know why. And I think part of that is, it's easy to get stuck in the mindset that happiness is something that I should pursue, right? Happiness is a thing that I need to pursue passionately, and if I pursue this thing of happiness, I'll get happiness. But I think that's kind of a false equation, right? Because I think really how you become happy is you do things that make you happy, and happiness will ensue, right? Happiness will be the result of you doing those things that make you happy, right? And I think there's a certain rhetoric in life right now that's like, you as a person need to be 100% all the time. You need to be happy all the time. And I just don't think that is true, right? It's okay to not be happy. It's okay to be upset sometimes. It's okay to be lost. And I think it's a very common thing for people to be lost. And I think the pressure lies in feeling lost and then saying, this is abnormal. Now I feel even more lost, or I feel even worse because now I'm abnormal. But in reality, you're not abnormal at all. That's the course of life. That's how it goes. So, coming back to the story, I was at this bar. I leave this bar, and, I literally went and smoked a cigarette, and I was just like, something I never do, by the way, something I haven't done in years, since, maybe I was a freshman in college, and I was just like, things around me feel inadequate, and I don't know how to tell people around me that they feel inadequate. And maybe the issue is they're not actually inadequate, but I'm the one who is causing them to feel inadequate, because maybe myself, I'm deeming inadequate as well, right? And, I did something maybe I shouldn't have done. I contacted my ex, and I called her, and I was like, you're a person from my past. Maybe you could say we don't know each other anymore, but I think you still know who I am. Maybe I don't know who you are, and you have a new boyfriend, you have all these things, and, I understand that it's like I'm being an asshole reaching out. I get that, and I'm sorry. But here's the scenario I'm in. You always knew how to combat these scenarios, and I'm lost, right? I don't know what to do. And it was interesting to see someone from my past kind of set me straight in a way, right? Because she looked at me point blank and was like, the person I knew and the person I loved was not a quitter. They weren't nonchalant about how they felt. They were passionate. They wanted to do all these things. And in the face of adversity, they didn't shy away. Like, You know, they weren't this type of person. So she's like, you're not a quitter. Don't even tell me you're a quitter, because that's just not who you are. And she said the person that I loved would have stopped at nothing to get what they want, right? And they didn't care. They didn't care about other people. They didn't care about, you know, they didn't even always care about me, right? And I think it's one of those things where it's like having the echoes of your past and someone remind you of who you are. Even though it was who you were with them, it's still who you are alone, right? And she was like, why do you care so much about what other people feel, right? What other people think? She was like, when all of a sudden did the person I knew become this empathetic little bitch, essentially, right? And there was something about hearing that from someone who honestly I would listen to about any of this stuff, because she intimately knew me for years, so I would listen to her advice. And it's like, oh my God, this person I'm trying to be is not the person who I am. So of course there's a sense of inadequacy. Of course there's, you know, a sense of a mask being put on, and I feel like I can't be my true self because I feel like I need to, you know, do something for these other people. And it was just so refreshing to hear a person say, why don't you just be you? Like, why are you selling your dreams for people who don't care? That, you know, she said there's no one to impress. There's no audience. And I think this was an interesting thing because it's almost like I found a person from my past, and I found a person who doesn't know my present. But there was this lagging period that I was going through that I couldn't connect the two. I couldn't be okay with the things that I left behind, and I couldn't be okay with the things that I gained. And in doing so, I was refusing community from those who were around me, which I think is a negative thing to do. You can't do that stuff. And I think just hearing her and talking to her, it was just a wild experience. It was like everything that I needed to hear at that moment was exactly what I needed to hear. The universe intended for that to happen. It was exactly what I needed to hear to be basically set straight on like this path. I even said, oddly enough, to my brother after that day after, I said, you know, today I feel really, really happy. I'm really good mental, really, really happy. And it's like once I stopped giving so much of a fuck about everyone, everything looked up. And, you know, that's how I used to be. And it's not even like me not caring is nonchalant, because it's quite the opposite. Me caring, I just care about me and the things around me, right? I don't care about things that are bad for me. I'm not giving energy to things that don't give energy back, because to her point, there's nothing that I can do to impress someone who doesn't want to be impressed by me. There's just nothing I can do, right? Even if I go 110% and I go 1,000% on doing something to impress them, if they don't want to be impressed or they're not impressionable by you, they'll just always hate you. They'll never be impressed. So it doesn't matter. Why waste your time, right? And I think this is just something so interesting that, you know, kind of came into my head, and I was just like, holy shit, she's right. I've just been fucking wasting my time with these people. I've just been wasting my time. And it's crazy that I needed someone who I used to be in love with to tell me that. But, you know, I guess that's just what you need sometimes. You need someone to tell you, like, look, you stop being this way. Be who you are, because who you are is what people love. Who I am is what she loved, right? So being anyone different is not going to get anyone to like you. And, you know, going back to the whole nonchalant situation, I've read some quotes in the past couple weeks. One quote was from Seneca, and essentially the sentiment of the quote was, life will make you cry, so why should every day give you tears? And the sentiment of that is like, why don't you just do what you want and not be upset about things? Because it's not like at the end you're going to be upset because you're going to die, and that's going to be the end of it, right? There's no making it out. There's no anything. So why be nonchalant about life? Because life will give you reasons to be nonchalant. Life will give you reasons to not care, but really, really care about the things that you want to do. Because, you know, something that she told me kind of is, obviously she talked about how she had met someone and it was great, and I was, I'm happy for her. She seems very happy. And it's one of those things that she said, there's people out there waiting to meet you. There's tables out there with a seat ready for you that you haven't even found yet. You haven't even seen them yet. And there is a plan, and I truly believe that she's right. There is a plan, and the plan always falls into place. If you just trust in yourself and you trust in the universe and maybe you trust in God, the plan does fall into place, right? There's hope that things will be better. Things can be better. Things are always getting better. Things won't always be better all the time, right? Assuming things will always be better all the time is where you become upset, because then when they're not okay, you're like, shit, why is this thing not okay? Why am I not okay? And I think it's just a wildly interesting thing to me that so many people in my life are so nonchalant about everything, about living, about being happy, about everything all the time. They're so nonchalant, and it really pisses me off, because it's like, for me, I want to do crazy things. I want to be extra passionate. I want to be, the best at things. I want to get good at things, because doing all these things fill my cup to no end. And I just can't imagine living a life in which you believe in some way, shape, or form that you have infinite time, and at some point you're going to make it out and it's going to be great and you're going to achieve all these things. But I just don't see how you can do that if you don't take things serious, right? Because I would, for me, I almost take being nonchalant synonymous with how serious do you take things, right? I'm a nonchalant lover. So you just don't take it serious. So why do it? I'm a nonchalant in school. I don't want to study. So why do these things at all? And these are just concepts that I can't really wrap my head around, but I think that they're concepts that are wildly important. And I would, bargain and beg people, don't be nonchalant, right? Because if people can't handle you when you are in this chalant, or we'll say serious state in which you take things super serious and you're super, disciplined and you're hyper focused on the exact things that you want. If you can't be that way around people and they can't accept you for that, then I would say they probably weren't meant for you in the first place. And you need to go out and find people who are like that, who are going to accept you for that. And I think having someone tell me that, who I have a lot of respect for, and say, listen, Evan, the person that I knew and the person that I loved was not like this. They weren't self-doubting. They were profound. They were righteous. They were disciplined. They were eager. They were passionate to the end. Hearing someone say that and remind you of who you are, it does something existentially to you. It does something socially, biologically to you. It feels like the chemicals in my brain switched on in that moment, and we're like, oh, that's what it feels like. Okay. This is what it feels like to be you. And I can't express my gratitude enough that I could have someone in my life that allowed me to do that. And, there's a good chance I'll never talk to this person again. And that's okay. It was like in that moment, anything left that she could provide me was provided for. And it was like the ending of the movie, right? And it was just an amazing thing to see, because it was just like, okay, this is great. The things that I wanted to do, the things that I talked about in video number 1, for God's sake, of becoming. Now it's 6 weeks out. I'm actually doing those things. We've been doing those things for a while, right? So it's like, everything's slowly coming into place. And it's an awesome feeling. So I need to get back to work. I just wanted to hop on here and make a little video. I know this was a video that was kind of all over the place, but I think a theme definitely was being nonchalant, or chalant in this case. And yeah, I think that's what I'll title the video. And I'll hopefully be uploading this later today. So I'm having a lot of fun with these. The issue is finding the time to actually make them, because I am really maxed out. But yeah, I'll keep at it. I will see you in the next.